Got to grab my mic, guys. Put my mic on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Right? Where was we? What it do, y'all? It's the Honorable Junes, not a bound to war with Jew, but an El Kebule kidnap that's ready for the get back. And welcome back to the Redeem or Destroy podcast, where we deal with facts over beliefs and awakening the minds of the kidnapped worldwide. Round of applause for that. And we're going to dive straight into it. Let's talk about Leopold II and how he used Christianity as a disguise for the Congolenian genocide. Let's do this. If Christianity stands for human dignity, this history must be answered. Oh, yes, it has to be answered. Because one of Europeans' most Christian monarchs oversaw a system in Africa where hands were severed, families were enslaved, and an entire population just disappeared. This is not about emotions. This right here is documented history. We're talking about Leopold II. Leopold II did not rule the Congo as a colony. He owned it, like personally. From 1885 to 1908, the Congo Free State was a private business venture. You hear me? Sold to the world as civilization, sold as humanitarian work. Okay? Sold as Christian uplift. Oh yeah. We're gonna have a good one tonight. But on the ground, it was forced labor, rubber quotas, hostage taking, village burning. You hear me carefully. I hope you guys are listening. The force public was not a police force, it was an enforcement arm of terror. Like I said, hands were severed to account for bullets. This is not metaphorically, neither. This is literally. Photographs exist, missionary reports exist, government investigations exist, also government investing also exists. There was no census, but population collapse, not only from violence, but famine, disease, and of course, the broken family system. Christian language protected the operation. Civilization language justified it. Let's talk about it, guys. Some churches benefited off this, others supposedly exposed it. But things are the facts. History does not require beliefs, it requires honesty. Let that marinate. If dignity matters, then accountability also matters. Remember, it's facts over the beliefs, and we're going to respect our DNA. So I just wanted to set the stage up for you guys and understand that what we're about to go through was all under the umbrella of the Abrahamic religion. Every single demise that took place upon our people had Abrahamic religion behind it. Prove me wrong. Every genocide, inhumane things that occurred to my melanated brothers and sisters was under the umbrella of religion. Now, I know a lot of you guys is, gonna feel some type of way, but my job is to give you guys the details. Okay? I'm not here, I'm not here to look for buddies. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to show you guys the facts, guys. Okay? Cool. Let me show you guys something. Let me pull these things out for you. Okay? Let's start off with this right here. Check this out. Okay? So we can go through this together. So this is on February 5th, 1885. The Belgian European Leopold II established the Congo Free State by brutally seizing the Alkebulan landmass as his personal possession, rather than controlling the Congo as a colony, as other European powers did throughout Africa. Leopold privately owned the region. Okay? Colonizing other people regardless of the justification. Okay? Regardless of the justification is wrong. The people being colonized are robbed of their land, resources, and freedom. Leopold financed development projects with money loaned to him by no other than the Belgian government. Okay? The European stated goals was to bring civilization to the people of the Congo, an enormous region in Central Africa. Believing one person is more civil than another is wrong, right? Leopold reigned over the Congo Free State. However, his becoming infamous for his brutality. The people of the Congo were forced to labor for value resources, including rubber and ivory, to personally enrich Leopold. Estimated vary, but about half of the Congolese population died from punishment, malnutrition. Many more suffered from diseases and torture. Among those who weren't killed, many were punished by having hands and feet amputated. The people of the Congo did not suffer these injustices without fighting back. Several rebellions were mercilessly put down under Leopold's direction. As the reality and suffering within the Congo Free State became more widely known, many European people spoke out against these abuses. Now, before we continue, understand that this speaking out came after these people benefited. A lot of people started speaking out because this man was keeping all of his findings to himself. Do you guys are understanding what I'm saying? He was keeping this these minerals and resources to himself, making him a very wealthy man. As you guys can see, he ended up overpowering the Belgian government. He became the king, like literally, literally. But we'll continue. Where was I? The European people spoke out against these abuses. Demonstrations and protests demand that Leopold ended human rights abuse in the Congo Free State in 1908. International pressure forced the European to turn the Congo Free State over to the country of Belgium. So they wanted him to be removed, but yet the Belgians still wanted control of the land. Mind you, these are people that had a whole lifestyle before these people arrived. They said he has to step down, but the power must go back to the country. You got to read these things carefully to understand what is going on here, guys. This is not me saying this. This is in real time, 2026. This is real time. Okay? Oh, and an FYI, the Congos is still under their control. They call it neo-colonialism, okay? Where they can rule from the cribs that they rest in. They can rule from their homes, from their country. Okay? Let us continue. Okay? Um International pressure forced Leopold to turn the Congo Free State over to the country of Belgium. The newly named Belgium Congo remained a colony until the Democratic Republic of the Congo gained independence in 1960. That means this is not even 100 years old, bro. People that was born in the 60s are still alive today. From 18 what date it was? 1885 to 1960. Yeah. Let's continue. Let's continue. I got more. Don't worry. Let's see. Let's see what the churches have to say. Huh? Let's zoom in. That's too much of a zoom in. All right. I'm not a robot, sir. Uh, why they won't let me read it? Look at this, guys. Are you seeing this? Are you guys seeing this? You see, I'm pressing the button here, right? You see this, right? They don't want me to read it out. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I could grab it straight from over here. I'm gonna screenshot it. Hold on. Let me screenshot it, guys. Let me screenshot it. Right? Okay. Since they wanna make it such a hassle, let me screenshot it. Okay. This is the first part. Let me get the second part. Let me get the second part. Let me get the second part. Hold on. Let me get the second part. And again, these are just previews, so you guys know. All right, these are just previews. I'm gonna I'm gonna leave this here, and I'm gonna put this right here. So let us continue, right? Let us continue. It says, when Christian missionaries returned to the Congo, key word, Christian, Christian, Christian. That means Christ-like. That means followers and believers of Christ. The kingdom that the kingdom that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This right here. You see it? It says, when Christian missionaries returned to the Congo in the 19th century, all traces of the promising Portugal missionary efforts of the late 15th and early 16th century has been obliterated. Right? The kingdom of the Congo, which had produced several generations of Christian kings, thousands of converts, even a African clergy and a African bishop, has been literally swept away by the European slave trade. The church had paid a heavy price for its failure to restrain the greed of the faithful, and one would secretly expect to find the error repeated. Furthermore, the intervening centuries had produced in Europe a growth of humanitarian sentiments which had sensitized the Christian conscience to the suffering of the oppressed. Indeed, these concerns for the temporal welfare of the Africans had been an important factor in the outburst of the 19th century missionary activities. Yet, when the second encounter of Europeans in Africa produced in the Congo Free State a form of exploitations which rivaled the first, fits first in its brutality, dedicated Catholic missionaries and zealous Catholic prelates astonishingly defined the regime against the attacks of reformers. Expedition. The explanation of this Miliacally episode appears to lie in the fact that the sectarian interest, national loyalty, and the overwhelming faith in the benefits of the Europeanized were allowed to obscure the essential facts. Okay? Pardon my butchiness. Okay. Pardon my butchiness. Damn. Did I not take this picture too? Damn. It says the attack had been adopted by the Congo Free State in 1891, at the moment when the earlier hostility amongst Catholics towards the African project of Leopold, right, had began, largely despite it, the official policy of religious naturality, which many Catholics had found offensive, remained, but the recognition by the power of Leopold's sovereignty in 1885 meant that it was no longer so necessary for this European to court the favor of Protestant missionary groups. Rome, accepting the fact of the international situation, had acceded by 1887 to Leopold's demand that the Congo should be evangelized by the Belgium. The French missionaries already at work in the Congo withdrew. Belgian missionaries ordered, which had for a decade declined this European invitation to establish themselves in his African, now they're calling him in his African territory, responded to the combined pressure from the congregations of the propaganda and the king and the European. Henceforth, all Catholic missionaries in the Congo were subject of the sovereign king. And still more important factor in creating support amongst Catholics for the Congo Free State was the anti-slavery crusade launched by the Cardinal Libadji, the Archbishop of the Algeries, and one of the main. And that's all they gave me. You have to literally subscribe or buy the story to get the in-depth. But what you guys are seeing is all of this atrocities was literally under And I repeat, was literally under the rules of religion. So when I tell you guys that religion is literally the foundation of our demise, you guys say that I be bugging. You guys say, yo, you don't know what you're talking about. You guys say, nah, bro, you know, Jesus is the way, Jesus is king, Jesus is Lord. His second coming is soon arrived. No, my brother. His second coming has been here from the very beginning. These people was doing all of this in the name of Jesus. Let me see if we got more. Let me see if we got more. Let me see. Is it this right here? Did I read this already? I think I read this already. I think I read this. Hold on, guys. Let me pull up some more for you. Let me pull up this for you. Now this is of Britannica, you know, a so-called reliable source. If you want to get some in-depth information when it's pertaining to these people and the stuff that they did to all of humanity, right? Cool. Now I really don't want to read too much about this man. I just want to show you guys, you know, the evil that this man was doing. Okay? I just want you guys to see the evil. I don't want you guys to take it as I'm trying to give you education of this man. You know what I'm saying? Like we're over the phase of receiving knowledge and history about these people. Anything that's pertaining to these people must always and shall only be about the wickedness that they've done to our people. In fact, I got a new decree. Every person that did wrong to melanated people, we should have a celebration on their death day. Yeah, this man died in December, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, December 17th. That just passed. Every December 17th moving forward, we all should go to the bar and have a drink for his death. Who's willing to take that to take that step? I'm willing to do that. I would love for you guys to follow me. If you're in the New York area, we should all go out for a drink, sit down, be in full joy. And when we go into these bars, we're gonna say, "Yeah, man, we in here for a celebration." And if they say, "Well, what are you celebrating?" We're gonna say, "The death of an evil man." And when they say, "Who's this evil man?" You're gonna tell them, "It's Leopold the second." It's no disrespect, but it's time for us to not glorify these people as historians. You know, the European, like there's a statue of this man in Belgium right now. You understand? Like they got a whole statue of this man right now in Belgium. Right now as we speak. So because of that, we should have a celebration every December 17th. I'm gonna find the exact time and date where he passed on, and that's the time that we all gonna sit to that. Because I want you to know that you're literally paying respect to your ancestors because your ancestors was dancing and in full enjoyment when they found out that that man passed on. And we gotta continue that tradition. F that. Anybody from him to Cecil Rose, Queen Elizabeth, you understand? Any one of these people that transitioned, that passed on, we should all have a celebration in honor of their unaliving. I know some of you guys is gonna be afraid because some of you guys are, still under this ideology, right? Believing that we are all the same, we are all equal, we are all brothers, we are all sisters, but in reality, we really not. In reality, the way that they got the whole system put together, it shows that we're not the same. It shows that there's no love and respect, and they don't even have sympathy for the things that occur to us. When you hear these people tell you got to get over it, or you hear them say things like, "Well, I didn't do that. My ancestors didn't do that. We didn't do that." That lets you know that these people have no remorse for the shit that happens to you. That's like me saying, "Well, that's the case. Then I don't care less for 9/11. My family didn't do that. It didn't affect me. Nobody in my family was in those towers." That's like me saying, "Well, you want me to be what for the Holocaust?" And that's crazy. I had a conversation with my man's earlier today. Shout out to my son. Shout out to my son, Smiley. Round of applause. And we had a conversation today, and in that conversation, and I say, "Yo, bro, am I wrong for feeling how I'm feeling when it's pertaining to other people's atrocities?" Like, for example, right now, the big conversation is, free Palestine and everybody else, right? And for me, it's more like, man, F these niggas. No disrespect, but I can't put your problems over mine when my problems and my issues and my historical heritage and my upbringing, my ancestors, everything that happened to them, I can't put that aside and uphold this brand new atrocities when our atrocities is still going on till this very day. You feel me? And he was like, "Yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I feel the same way too." I was like, "Yo, that's why you my nigga." You feel me? Because we on that same frequency. And again, this is not no disrespect. I'm not coming off as being hateful. I love all peoples, but I would never put nobody's problems over mine. Never in life. If you can tell me to get over it, I'm gonna tell you F that. Facts. If you could tell me get over what happened to my ancestors, I'm gonna tell you what I don't give a damn. F what happens to yours. No disrespect. But again, your problems, there's no compassion and sympathy coming from me unless it comes from you. Because the last time I checked, we was chilling minding our business and you came over there and you violated. And that's why we talking about this man right here. Let us continue. Can I change the camera size? Damn, I can't change the camera size. Look at this right here. It says, present himself as a philanthropist eager to bring the benefits of Christianity, Western civilization, and commerce to African natives, uh, a guise that perpetuated for many years. Leopold hosted an international conference of explorers and geographers at the Royal Palace in Bristol in 1876. Several years later, he hired the what? The explorer Henry Morton Stanley to be his man in Africa. For 5 years, Stanley traveled up and down the immersive waterways of the Congo River basin, setting up trading posts, building roads, and persuading local chiefs, almost all of them illiterate, to sign treaties with Leopold. So basically, he sent the rat. He sent the weasel to these places to set up shop, to scope out the land, similar to what Joshua did in the Bible, right? Set up shop, scope out the land, and when it's all said and done, make these people write something that they didn't understand. Can you imagine? I'm coming like, yeah. Look, I'm coming to you with a bag of gold. Like, yeah, look, you're gonna get this. We're gonna give you that, and we just need you to sign. Mind you, they're not speaking. The contract is not written in their language. They probably got an interpreter who they're saying what they was going to do, and of course they didn't keep their end of the bargain, or they had an interpreter and gave him a bunch of money, told him to lie, and he's gonna be all right. And there's people that's going to do that. So I don't overlook that. I don't even put that past anything. You understand? And when the 5 years was done, out came the demon. Let me give you another story of this same sequence occurring. Albert Christian, who was taught by William S. Crowdy, who was the Freemason here in America, that is the forefather of this so-called Hebrew Israelite ideology, taught this man, Albert Christian. Albert Christian then went to South Africa, and he was there from 1896. You see the time dates? 1896 to about 1904. How many years is that? 5 years? I know. 7 years? And after he was said and done, he bought, after he finished doing this ideology, bringing forth this commandment bullshit, giving forth all this European philosophies, trying to have brothers and sisters really believe that the story that's in the book was about them. After that was completed, there was an influx of European Khazaric Jews that made their way into South Africa. You can look this up. That's why the land Johannesburg, which is a Jewish name, made its way into the land. See, you guys don't understand what's going on. You guys are falling for propaganda, and you guys are believing it to be prophetic. It's not prophetic, it's pathetic that we're still in this state, not paying attention, not doing the due diligence as kings and queens, melanated brothers and sisters, El Kebule kidnaps, not doing the due diligence to figure out what is being given unto us. Why is it being given unto us? Who is the pioneer? Who's the founding father? Who taught him? How can we trace our lineage back to anything? I had a conversation with two of my bros, shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? These are the bros that, I was always around, or should I say they was always around me when we was, into when I was into this Hebrew ideology. And we had a whole conversation, right? And I said simple things like, yo, bro, you are unable to trace anything back. You can't trace nothing back to nothing. You can't trace nothing back to your genealogy. You can't. And it's a reason. It's intentional. You know why? Because this ideology wasn't given unto you by your ancestors. I say, yo, my brother, if you have to go to the enemy to get information, what makes you think the enemy is going to give you information that's going to set you free? That's an oxymoron. The people that enslave you are now going to give you information that's going to set you free. You got to make that make sense. They got us believing that, a European, whether you a European or a black face, whatever you want to call him, whatever you want him to be, they got you believing that somebody's gonna come and redeem you. But in all reality, there's nobody coming to redeem you. Because the person that you're waiting to come to redeem you is here on the earth already. Jesus, the kingdom of Jesus is here right now, in real time, in 2026 Babylonian Gogarian calendar. It's here right now. It says, although the Belgian government felt that the colonies would be extravagant for a small country with no navy or merchant marines, that situation suited Leopold perfectly. He persuaded first the United States and then all the major nations of the Western European to recognize a huge swath of Central African, roughly the same territory as the modern day Democratic Republic of Congo, as his personal property. He called it the Ita Independent du Congo, the Congo Free State. It was the world's only private colony, and Leopold referred to himself as the proprietor. Okay? Okay? And again, all of this was under the guidelines of this religion. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't read all of this because when I read it, it literally pisses me off, man. Okay? Well, it says other parts of the Congo economy, from the road building to chopping wood for steamboat boilers, operated by forced labor as well. The effects were devastating. Many of the women hostages starved, and many of the male rubber gatherers were worked to death, like literally worked to death. Right? Tens, possibly hundreds of thousands of Congolese fled their village to avoid being impressed as forced laborers, and they sought refuge deep in the forest where there was little food and shelter. Tens and thousands of others were gunned down in failed rebellion against the regime. One particular notorious practice grew out of the suppression of those rebellions to prove that they had not wasted bullets, or worse yet, saved them for use and the mutiny for each bullet expand. A Congolese soldier of the force public had a presence to his white officer. The served the severed hands of a rebel killed. Baskets of severed hands thus result from the expedition against rebels. If a soldier fired at someone and missed, or used a bullet to shoot game, he then sometimes cut off the hand of the living victim to be able to show it to his officers. Okay? Okay? And again, all of this is under the guidelines of religion. All of this is under the guidelines of Jesus. All of this is under the guidelines of Yahweh, the Biblos. You guys really don't understand what's really going on. You guys really believe, or you're gonna hear wars and rumors of wars. My God, there was always wars and rumors of wars. When World War One started, what didn't it start with wars and rumors of wars? Earthquake in diverse places. There wasn't supposed to be earthquakes in California. Diverse places, places that you never thought humans will be living in. You should be persecuted for my name's sake. You guys are really believing that the persecution was going to come for those that followed Jesus. Absolutely not. Persecution is for those that disregard Jesus, that did not accept Jesus. You was the one that was persecuted. You was the one that was violated. You was the one that had his fingers, legs chopped off. You was the one that was hung off the images that I showed you yesterday. These are the things that occur to you when you disobey. You have to make these things make sense, guys. All this information is here for y'all. I just, like I said, I just choose to just give you guys just a glimpse so you guys can get a reminder of who these people are and what they've done to you. My issues is nothing to do with the average Euro. My issues is with those that sit in these so-called high seats that's using their position to violate all of humanity. And we know the main primary target is people that look like me. If you're thinking that I'm lying, where's the outburst? Where's the free Ghana, free Guyana, etc. When this purple man, orange man drop bombs in Africa? This is recent. And you think I'm supposed to give a damn about a ICE unaliving a European? Heck no, I can care less. That's their problem. Let they handle that shit. You, brother, man, you supposed to be on the side of protesting like, yo, how dare you niggas do what you doing to our land? Because guess what? That was a terrorist attack. Was. It was. Yeah. Get upset. Make it make sense. It was. And this is what I tell you, that these individuals are easily able to flex their muscles on a bunch of people that is the predominant race that was never supposed to be in the position that we are in. These people walk around literally doing whatever they want, bro. And let it be one of us. You see what happened in Iraq? You see what happened in Afghanistan? Let it be one of us. You see, when they do shit like this, it's a justification behind it. But if we was to do it, we are deemed evil, terrorists, radicals, etc. You get every title to man when it's us. But when it's them, it's because they're doing the greater good of Jesus. Ask, when you look up, why did they do that in the Ghana? Why? Because there was a bush of people that was unaliving Christians, and that's why that place was so-called bombed. Excuse me? So what about those? What about those that's being unalived through Islam? You know, there's more Christians unaliving Islam than there is Islam unaliving Christians. But they're not gonna tell you that story. You got to start doing your own homework to understand what's going on. But the problem is, you guys don't want to do the homework because, like I said earlier, you want that smooth thing. I can't give you nothing smooth, pimping. We're going to pull out one more, and then I'm going to gracefully bow out, guys. You know what I'm saying? Saying, I really can't. Ah, I really can't. Oh, excuse me, guys. Hold on. Read this. See this right here. The atrocities in the Congo Free State. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. These are your peoples, bro. These are these are your relatives, whether you like it or not. These are your relatives, whether you like it or not. These are children right here at the bottom, by the way. Okay? These was the sellouts. Oh yeah. Okay? Okay? All right? Okay? 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 Got a whole statue. Okay? It says from 1885 to 1908, many atrocities were committed in the Congo Free State, today the Democratic Republic, under the absolute rule of this European, right? These atrocities were particularly associated with the labor policies enforced by colonial administrators used to collect natural rubber to explore, combined with, you know, epic diseases, famine, mass population displacement, and failed birth rate caused by these disruptions, excuse me. The atrocities contribute to a sharp decline in the Congolese population. The magnitude of the population decline over the period is disputed, with modern estimated from the range from 1.2 million to 10 million people. And you telling me that I'm supposed to allow my daughters and my sons to deal with these people? You telling me that I must forgive and forget, that I should not be an angry black man? Why are you worrying about it? You don't, that didn't happen to your family. How you know that, bro? How you know that? That's like me saying, yo, my man, you wasn't there for the Holocaust. Your family escaped to America. Why are you complaining? You see how that is irrelevant? You see how that is not supposed to be accepted? You have to make these things make sense, bro. You can't be mad at me because I no longer want to participate in the philosophies, because this very philosophy was used to do this to a particular group of people, innocent people, bro. Where's the threat? Let's go back. Where's the threat? Where's the threat? Where's the threat? You know why there was no threat? That's why they came into your space. Oh, these niggas don't cat. These niggas is not ready for war. Yeah, we gonna violate. And like I told my man's earlier today, yo, don't get it twisted, bro. It was said. Our people was being hit with bullets. They been had. Don't let these foolish ass pebble guns nonsense fool you like it was a one shot and they caught. All of that is lies. These niggas been gripped up with automatics and all that. Do your homework, do your history, you're gonna find out. Ben had these things. This is why I say it's time for brothers and sisters to start respecting your DNA. You disrespect your DNA when you start following the philosophies of the enemies, when you start believing the stories that they tell you. When your understanding literally has to come from their hands, that is an issue. That is an issue. And with that being said, guys, I said what I had to say. This is just me just giving you guys some brief, history to make you guys remember that you have to stay on your side. This is no longer about, who's this and who's that. No, it's about you guys stay over there, we stay over here. You know why? Because history has shown what you guys have done to us. History has proven that you are not to be trusted. You could never be my homie. You would never have compassion and love for me the way that we got compassion and love for you. And no matter what we do, no matter what we say, you will always find a way to demonize and make us seem like we're radical, we was uncivilized, we are savages. This is why I go so hard on you young bucks and beg you young bucks to put an end to this behavior, because these people are building up an army that we are not going to be able to sustain and take down, because we are totally disconnected from everything. This music got us disconnected. These drugs, alcohol, these bot women, the internet, everything got us disconnected. Not a single person is connected to the universe. Not a single person is connected to their heritage. Not a single person is connected to their gods, their ancestors, the fallen deities, whatever you want to call them. We're not connected to absolutely nothing. You know why? Because they gave you a story and told you that if you didn't follow this story, before there was a conversation of hell, they said if you didn't follow this story, we will unalive you right where you stand. And some of them didn't even keep their word and still unalived you. And then looked at these little children. And these are the children that created the generation of fear mongering, weirdos, softies, fearful. To fast forward to today, the energy that you see that I'm displaying is the energy of the ancestors, of the warriors, of those that had enough, of the rebel. I have a conversation with my whiz right now, and she says, yo, if slavery was to start right now, you would not be able to stay alive for a long period of time. You would never be indoors. You would have been an outdoor slave. You would have been the slave that these niggas would make an example of, because you don't follow rules and regulations. And you know what I tell her? The reason why I don't follow rules and regulations, because I was never meant to be following rules. I was meant to be given the rules. I was meant to be left alone. I was meant to love my neighbor, love my land, have a land, watch my children grow up where I no care in the world, because that's how I move. And if you guys thinking that I'm lying, my little man is only 2 years old and he's on that same frequency. So that means, so my pops was like that. I'm sure my grandfather was like that, which lets me know that what I'm on is genetics. This is not something that I was taught as I got older and I started find, following ways and learning. No, these things is embedded in me, like it's in my DNA. When I see my little man and I see my children, when I see my daughter, I see my son, I'm like, damn, son, these little niggas is really like me, son. But this little one right here, this one right here, the one with the El Capulan name, the soldier that he is, oh, this little nigga don't give a damn. Oh, jeez. Listen, man, this one right here, when it's based on personality, that little nigga is literally my twin. If we could base, somebody being somebody's twin based on characteristics. That little nigga is my twin, bro. And it is what it is. But again, I say all that to say, wise up, shape up, get your priorities in order, take back your soul, give them back their spirit. Their spirit comes with the Abrahamic ideology. Give that shit back. Claim back what's yours. You feel me? Claim back what's yours. Function on the space of a person that knows that they've been kidnapped. Chase your soul, and you will connect back to the solar universe. To all my young bucks, put down this behavior. To all my sisters, you don't have to be on your knees for every nigga. Find yourself your king. Raise a family. Let's bring back to shit. Let's bring shit back to its proper perspective so we can get ones up because we're failing in every category. You understand? And with that being said, it's your brother man from the motherland. Came to you guys live. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and understand I am that guy. You understand? And like I say all the time, you feel me? Respect your DNA. Keep it G'd up from the feed up. Ain't no need to roll the weed up because we already high off life because that is the ultimate price. You gonna be alright. Are you dumb or are you dumb? And I'ma holler at y'all.